Welcome to another episode of Ask Jim, which we're up to episode 58, and obviously during trying times. And so let's just get straight into it, Jim. Leave some questions as well, guys. If you're a franchisee or franchisor, make sure you leave. I know Jim answered a heap last week. I think it was our record last week in way of numbers. I think we're up to 196 or something. It was pretty close to the Hato episode, so we'll call it a draw. But it was very, very close in numbers. So we had a lot of franchisees and Zors ask questions. I think we had around 400.
Wants to ask a question.
Yeah, it can be anything as well. But if you are, it is a COVID question from a franchisee or Zor, they'll take priority. If anything else, just please ask Jim by all means. We're here as long as people need to have some peace of mind and all that sort of stuff. So let's get straight into it. So this week, what you've been up to is we've done a podcast yesterday with more of an update about the COVID-19 and how Jim's is responding to it, which is available now. Yep. And we also posted a video today of you with your prepping about rice, because we've been talking about it for a long time.
My 20-litre bucket of rice with the mylar bag and the stuff and the oxygen absorber, and talking about how you can do it. You can actually buy in bulk, safeguard your family, and save money at the same time.
How much was the savings? It's more than $100, isn't it?
It's about a third.
A third.
About a third off.
So if you
that's including the cost of the bucket and the bag and everything else, and it's less if you do it again because you reuse the bucket, of course.
That's very, very true. And we've also had a few things going on in Jim. I know a lot of franchisors have started holding Zoom meetings now. So there's a bit of a craze at the moment. People are doing...
I like Zoom, actually.
Yeah, Zoom's great.
I reckon Zoom's good. The person speaking tends to come out and you see them better. It doesn't always work, but...
Yeah, definitely. So people are doing Zoom parties now. So obviously you can't have house parties. So what you do is you get a screen of Zoom and you have 10 people all on the thing and having a beer or having a wine. But we've had franchisors. I saw a post from Brendan Raggett up on the Sunshine Coast. He done his franchisee meeting via Zoom. And he had all his franchisees on there, having a beer or having a drink, and they were talking about all this stuff as per normal, which is great inside with social distancing. And also, please, guys, the JobKeeper allowance announcement that came out yesterday was quite impactful for us, because do you want to tell a little bit more about that, franchisees? About some franchisees have employees, so the new JobKeeper allowance can help them.
Yeah, that's right. So people can keep their workers on. That's basically it, which we're doing here. We've got our conference centre now. It's we can keep our staff, which are great, which is really a plus, because there isn't anything for them to do much at the moment, but they're great people. We don't want to lose them.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing about businesses being loyal, and I'm sure that the staff will be loyal to the businesses once everything recovers as well. I would hope that'd be the case.
Yeah, very hard to find great staff. It is really hard. So if you can hang on to those you've got, well then that's a huge advantage for the future. And you want to be able, when the economy gets, you want to be able to take off.
Definitely.
Take advantage.
You're ready to go. So we've got around 70 people watching at the moment, which is great. So make sure you leave Jim a question, guys, especially on the Jim's Group page. I'll see it straight away. If not, Jake scans the page and flick them through. So let's get into it. So first one from David McDonald, Jim's Antennas, who came to fix your house.
Yes, I never heard that.
G'day, Jim. Nice to see the video today of the rice. I've been crook for the last week, and I've been put in isolation till the 13th.
Oh,
Zor was great, suspended me immediately, so no fees. Going to catch up on some online IT training next few days.
Excellent. Make use of it. If you're trapped, do something useful. I've been reaching out to friends, actually. I just spoke to a friend I haven't known since 40 years. I haven't spoken to him.
40 years?
Yeah.
Gee whiz.
Someone I was at school with, yeah.
And you just caught up now just because of this?
Yeah.
There we go.
Well, there was kind of a reason, I suppose. You bring people out to see how you're going and so forth. It's been good. And contact with your children and stuff. There's lots of things.
Well, hopefully you get better, David, and hopefully it's not coronavirus that you have.
We need you back.
We do need you back.
You're a star.
Absolutely is.
After fixing my TV, it still works beautifully. Thanks for that.
No, it was the headphones. Remember the headphones?
That's what I mean.
Yeah, the headphones, yeah.
The TV was all right. We just couldn't hear anything.
That's true, very true.
Just horrible noises coming through. So,
I remember that one.
David fixed it like that. It was very, very impressive.
That's it. So Jared Bywaters, Jim, do you see us going into lockdown like New Zealand?
No, I definitely do not. I do not see it. Our government is balancing health and the economy, and it's a fair enough thing that you can't say economy is there, health is there. You've got to balance it, because one thing that's happening, people are getting locked into their houses. You get things like domestic violence.
Yes.
And all kinds of problems, and mental illness and those kinds of issues. It's not a zero, doesn't matter what happens to the economy, it doesn't affect anybody. It does affect a lot of people in all kinds of ways.
I think the parties as well, I know it's been a bit of a side effect, hasn't it? People are going, stuff, this one have my mates over.
I would find it very annoying to say you can't go out and mow lawns, which is an incredibly safe way to make a living, or like most of our jobs, but people can stay home and they can go with their neighbours and have parties and stuff, which is a big complaint. A lot of people are doing that, and that seems to me completely dumb. You're probably better off doing your job and helping the economy and you're staying safer at the same time.
I can understand it, but I just think if you're a government, you're pretty silly to think people are just going to abide by the rules and not have those big parties. And if you're giving them money just to sit home and do
there's
nothing.
so much evidence that's
you know
what
what I
they're doing all over the place. People are gathering together. And that's only what you see in public. What you don't know is what they're doing in private. But there have been complaints about noisy parties. People don't want to stay stood up, and they'll go and talk to somebody. They'll meet somebody. And that's the danger, not going out and doing your job.
I was talking to someone today who lives in Port Melbourne, and there's obviously Albert Park there, and they do a lot of fitness there.
Yeah.
And cops are going there now and pulling up people.
Yeah.
So cops are red hot
But
on
they're
it
the only
now.
ones they know about.
Yeah.
They're the only ones they see. They don't know what's going on inside houses. They
That's
can't
correct.
tell. How can you look where a person is? How do you know if you've got a whole bunch of people coming, staying at your place and having a party? Unless you make a big racket and the neighbours complain.
Well, what's been happening now is that if people, generally my sort of generation, will tend to post it on social media, but people are screenshotting those parties and whatever and sending them in and dobbing them in.
I hope so.
Which no one likes a tattletale, however, with this
I love
stuff.
tattletales in this environment. when you've got life and death, not so much of the people doing it, but the people who get infected and then go and visit their elderly granny who dies, 10 years before she needs to. That's disgusting. That's really ruthless. And we should tattletale.
Yeah, I think that's happening. I think people are taking it a lot more serious now, which is good to see. But the answer to Jared is no. Jim doesn't think we're going to
Well, that's my opinion. I'm not the word expert. But I watch the news. When I get up in the morning, the first thing I do is switch on the news. I got to look at the Australian in particular and just look at everything that's been said and what the Prime Minister's saying and the different experts are saying and different states are doing and even different countries around the world are doing. So I'm sort of probably as much on as anybody who's not in government.
And check out the podcast we did with Jim yesterday, which we went for around 45 minutes on the whole thing, which is quite interesting. Darren Jacobson says, g'day. So g'day, Darren Jacobson as well. Then David says, it'll work forever. What is fixed for you, which is correct. The Aaron Putty from Jim's Antennas gone, evening, gents. Still going strong, which is good to hear from a Jim's Antennas franchisee saying still going strong.
We haven't been... There's 3 divisions that's had some effect. Test and tag most of all. Beauty inspections is hurt. And cleaning has had some
franchisees are hurting, yeah.
Most other divisions seem to be going very well. The leads are very comparable to last year. Maybe there's a few clients here and there cancelled, but we've got so much on service leads. We've got.
And you've obviously eased up cross-divisional now,
Yes,
which is a lot easier to take than was before.
Oh, look, just a little while ago, I got a guy I put him down for a lot of mowing leads.
Right.
I just fixed it on the system. It's easy enough. You just email jim@jims.net and I'll put you in. And I've done that for a couple of guys so far.
But I think also those stimulus packages from the government's giving people confidence to spend money again, right? When everyone might be going, I need to keep my money.
That's right.
I think especially the JobKeeper payment the other day.
Apart from those 3 divisions, we really don't notice people are hurting. In fact, most of the one guy was complaining today about it's a terrible crisis and how bad it is and disaster. Maybe I can't pay my fees. I said, you've got to be joking. You had 22 leads so far this month. This is a cleaning franchisee. We've already got regular clients. 22 new leads. Actually, I meant last month, March. But I mean, it's ridiculous. The people who complain most about lack of work are those who aren't taking any work.
Very, very, very.
Outside those 3 divisions, to be fair, if you're in test and tag, then you've got a problem.
That's it. Sharon's tuned in as well, so g'day to Sharon. So, you have any questions, Sharon, that your franchisees are asking you, please let us know. Same with Steve Walkham as well from Canberra. So, Steve, any franchisee questions that you know you're getting asked, please leave them in here and Jim will answer them right away. Dave McDonald's gone here. My wife and kids have been great. I've been very fortunate to have a great family and I want to stay home with them. We baked some bread that just finished earlier because we didn't have any, which is really cool.
It's harder for the singles actually. When you've got a happy marriage, as I have, and I have obviously too.
Yeah,
it's fun. We just have some nice romantic time together, and we had a barbecue in our front yard, wood-fired barbecue with my wife and son, and that was really fun.
It's not too bad for us single fellas, Jim. It's all right. Don't worry about that. It's all right. We've got things to do, things to learn.
That's good.
Instruments to play. Eric Benz has gone, Jim, if things take a huge turn for the worst, do you think there is a point where we need to pull the pin on lockdown, say get to the stage of the Spanish flu?
We've had 20 deaths so far, is that right? 20?
I think it was, when we were talking it was 18 yesterday, but it could be more now, I don't know. But it's not that many.
There's not.
Proportionate to what's tested positive,
and it's
right?
clear that the rate of infections is declining because actually they're doing thousands of tests and 98% are coming up negative. So when you talk about more cases, it's not people getting more infected, it's that we're finding more of the people who are infected as we test more. But the deaths are very modest. If you look at what the US, what if they are?
Oh, US is at a heat. Their
infections are out of control in their health system. We've got a great health system in this country. I must say, it makes me very happy to be Australian. We're coping so much better. We've got lower debt to start with, so we can afford these stimulus without wrecking the economy. We've got sensible government. We've got reasonably balanced measures which cut down the risk of infection without destroying the whole economy. We've done very well, actually.
Yeah, no, we're very lucky to be here, especially with our healthcare system. It definitely makes it appreciated. If you're in the States with no medical insurance or something, you'd be knackered. You'd be stuffed. You had no healthcare over there, you'd be in trouble. Yeah. So, feel for them over there. So here's one from Emmanuel. Hi, Jim. I'm a test and tagger in Sydney. Have been in the business for 5 weeks and had no leads in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Times are tough. My wife shifts have been dropped to 2 days a week. I've been told to mow lawns. This is not an option as I don't have a trailer, sniffer, etc. Spent just under 100K, including car, on this franchise. Is there anything that can be done to help us out? Maybe suspend franchise fees and keep leads going for a couple of months. We need help.
Yes. Just talk to your franchisor. We've suspended a number of... we're certainly reducing fees across the board, people who are still working, but suspension of fees is quite reasonable. But when you say you haven't got a trailer, you could do something like gardening, for example. There's a whole lot of gardening jobs unserviced. Why not do those? If you don't mind just getting out and digging a bit.
Well, what are some other services besides mowing cross-divisional that some people are doing? That might be a lot easier.
They're the main ones. Yeah. There's some, strangely, I look around a bit and there's some car cleaning and some vacate cleans. The best thing is to just work out what there is. And again, if you email me, jim@jims.net, I will actually tell you what's on in your area, what unserviced leads there are and where and so forth. I can find that out very quickly.
So Emmanuel's suggestion here, which has had come through last week as well, he says maybe suspend franchise fee and keep the leads going, which is not a possibility in the system, is it? Yet.
It's hard because who's got to pay the call centre?
The call centre, right?
The call centre at least has got to be paid, even if nothing else is paid. So we you really got to. You can reduce it maybe by half and so forth, but you got to keep some revenue so we can pay the girls to take the calls.
Okay, so what I would suggest there, Emmanuel, is to email Jim as well. Email Jim directly with what for the unserviced stuff that you can take and some options and suggestions from Jim. Yeah. I'm sure Jim will help you out. And your franchisor.
When you say haven't got a trailer too, I mean, you can hire a trailer at a service station. They're not that expensive to do. And if you've got a mower, which most people do, you just take.
Well, I think he doesn't have any equipment at all. So that's what he's saying. He says obviously put a big outlay for the franchise with test and tag and yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that the gardening doesn't require a trailer. Mm-hmm. And there are gardening jobs going begging. I mean, look, you might go out there and make yourself, $4 or $5 for the day, but what's wrong with that? It's better than just being down. I mean, at least look at what's available. The other thing too is that there's jobs like gutter clearing. And gutter clearing is a very lucrative job. You've got to buy the harness.
Yep, which is around 400, 500, and they.
So you've got a once-off outlay for the harness, but you could probably, you could absolutely on-sell it after you finish with it.
Yep.
So you take the harness, they'll train you how to do it, but you can get yourself like a double-story guttering job is $250.
It's a lot of money in it. Yes.
And it takes about an hour.
Yep.
So I mean, you do 2 jobs and you're finished. Once again, it's not a pig in the poke because what you look at is what is available. And I can show you how many guttering jobs we've knocked back in your area over the past week, say, and then you can work it out. And you go and buy the stuff. You pay it off in the first day, and then you start travelling. I know there's a guy a mowing guy in Canberra. I fixed up for that. He only does mowing and gardening just where he is, but he does guttering all over Canberra.
Oh, yeah, so please take Jim up on his offer, Emmanuel. Email jim@jims.net. And I know it's bloody bad timing, though, starting a business 5 weeks ago. Bloody bad timing.
But think about hiring a trailer, too. There's all kinds of options to be done. And the costs of actually getting going are very small. It's more a case of just having the gumption to do it and give it a go.
Yeah, what I would say to you, Emmanuel, if you can get through this, you can get through anything. So if you can get through this business now, hopefully...
Look, it's a uniquely bad time in a uniquely badly affected division. What we've got to do is to work out how to keep it going.
Yeah. Suspending
fees is certainly a possibility if you're not getting any jobs at all. But we can still give you work in other divisions. And we're actually got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of jobs going. I mean, Jim's Plus, which takes the overflow, it's not up to its peak level, but it's actually not doing too bad.
Mm. So please, Jim@jims.net, Emmanuel, and thanks for writing that detailed comment. Hope you can find.
And you get preference over Jim's Plus. I don't need to say. Even if you're in another division, you always get it before any outsider gets it.
100%. So let's keep going. We've got 100 people watching now, which is great. So thanks for tuning in again on Wednesday night. I guess you're probably locked in. There's probably not much more to do. I guess there's not much on free to wear. All right, Dylan Lucas, Jim, do you know about all the meme pages inspired by you? Do you know about all the memes?
We know those.
We endorse them 100%.
We love them.
The good ones, though. We
even try and contribute for them.
We do.
Who was that? Was that you, Jake, that did Jim's toilet roll delivery?
That was
Oh,
Ben
that's
in the
Ben.
background. That was our most liked post ever. Shared post. Had like
That's right.
1,500 shares.
People started ringing up and asking for it. that was
And they
one
got
thing
angry
they
when we
took
didn't have it.
seriously.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, they took it. Yeah, they weren't happy. But yes, we absolutely do know, and we love it. We're going to run a competition later in the year,
I
Dylan.
wonder if Jim's Home Fresh does put toilet paper. They probably should take it up, you know.
They should put it in there. Absolutely.
Actually, I went to the
100%.
supermarket today and there were stacks of toilet paper, so it's back to normal.
I think people panic buying hopefully died down a bit. Dave McDonald, I bought a Weber charcoal barbecue. What should I cook first, Jim? What should he break it in with?
Oh, it's what you like. I get these little. I don't eat much meat at all actually, but I get these little pepper and chicken schnitzels from Woolworths, which are really nice. They got about a 4-star rating.
Right.
And Aaron and I, my son, we had those at lunch today with some roasted corn. And the great thing about charcoal or wood is that you get the flavour into the actual food.
Mm.
So we have a barbecue with these little schnitzels and things. Sometimes my daughter has veggie sausages because she's a vegetarian. Corn is really, really nice.
Yeah.
And we just eat tomatoes and we have some fresh bread and from Baker's Delight. It's a really nice meal.
So there you go. I reckon can't go wrong with a big T-bone steak there, David. Get some nice meat on there. That's what I reckon.
All these carnivores. If you're really aiming for a heart attack and stomach cancer, go for your beef and destroying the environment.
There you go.
That's where you should be.
Pros outweigh the cons on that one. Nigel Telford, 7th day of lockdown in NZ, starting to get a little bored. I have sent an email to the local MP this evening seeing if a mowing franchisee can go back to work. Seeing had a job that has little no contact with his clients. So is NZ a mowing franchisee?
I had this big argument with your franchisors. I sent I got a contact from my lawyer, which is a site that you can go to make a case about being an essential service.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, go to them and make a case for mowing at least to being a service with pretty well zero risk of infection. And what I got back was a blast of criticism. Oh, how could you put all at risk? How dare you suggest such a thing? I said, it's your decision. You don't have to do it if you don't want to.
Yeah.
So tell your franchisors about this. If you email me, I'll tell you the site to go to. But they treated me like I was, Typhoid Mary or something. I tell you what, when I suggested this to them.
Yeah, people have a massive house party.
I think it's stupid. I really do. How on earth can you get or give an infection if you're mowing somebody's lawn? You don't even see the client. You're not touching the same surfaces. It's not even like you don't even have your hand on the. You get paid remotely. It's about the lowest risk job there could possibly be. You're about 100 times more likely to get infected going to a supermarket. And don't tell me you're not eating. So if you want to know the site, just tell me. But I think it's absurd, actually. I really think it's absurd. If the Australian government tried to do the same thing, and I don't think they will, but if they did, we'd certainly make the biggest fuss possible.
There we go. So take that one up on Nigel, and thanks for tuning in right to the comment. Hope you're well. Aaron Putty's gone roast pork as a suggestion of the day. We're around 5 minutes behind the comments tonight, so doing a little bit better. Eric Jurgen's gone, hi guys, nice to see we're still here. Absolutely, we're still here doing the social distancing. We're absolutely far enough. I think Jim loves the social distancing now. No touching, no handshakes.
I do too.
No,
I'm never a very touchy person except inside my family.
Let's see how long you can keep the social distancing up for with the training and all that sort of stuff. I'm sure.
I'm all in favour of it. I reckon we should go forever. I mean, who knows when the next virus has come? Let's give up shaking hands. It's very sanitary. I think a polite bow like the Japanese do that'd be the way to go.
You want to bow, yeah? You want to bring the bow in, don't you?
I do.
But you want everyone to bow lower to you, though, right? You do the little bow. We do the big bow.
I do a little bow like that, and everybody has to reach down and put their hand on the ground like an Oriental pasha or something. That'd show real respect for authority. My staff don't have any respect for me at all. They treat me like rubbish, especially this guy.
Oh yeah. We'll see what happens there. Telling lies. So let's keep going here. Dave McDonald saying he does leave a lot of pork with finger slow cooked beef cheek. Wade Aston's going, how are you going, Jimbo and muscles? Keeps calling me muscles. I've got no muscles, Wade. Gyms are closed. My muscles are shrinking. You can't buy any weights online.
No, don't worry.
It's shocking.
You think it was muscle, but it's all flab. I saw him with his shirt off the other day too, and it wasn't a pretty sight.
Sorry, the shirt off. When was that?
When you were changing.
What are you looking at me for?
When we were doing the podcast.
What are you looking at me for? Don't look away. Don't be looking at me.
Believe me, I didn't want to. It wasn't any pretty sight.
Full Sandals going, hi Jim and Joel. Good to see you online again and both in good health. We are currently touch wood.
We are.
Which
We're
is
in good health and in good spirits.
And for those watching, and always, because they always say Jim's in thongs, how cool is Jim? I don't think it's being cool, is it?
It's nothing to do with. Do you want me to show you?
Show the foot if you can get it up there.
The foot. This is my foot here. I got a thorn in my foot. Just went in there, right in. I had to get an operation under full anaesthetic to take it out.
Yeah, that's it.
I should have brought it in actually to show you.
How big was it?
It was about a centimetre long.
It's causing you a lot of grief though, but it's all done now.
It is good. But it's still a bit tender to walk on, but it's better than it was.
You were quite impressed with the healthcare system, weren't you, when you went in there?
I was very impressed. Maroondah Hospital, I think if you ever need to go for a hospital, Maroondah was fantastic. Very efficient and friendly, and everybody was so nice. I was really blown away, and I thought, my goodness, this is what our health dollar buys, then we get a good deal, especially compared with so many other countries.
There we go.
I'm most impressed.
There we go. So we'll keep going here. We're around 5 minutes behind the comments, which is great. Keep leaving your comments or questions, guys, for Jim. We'll get to as many as we can. Bob Ling, what industries do you think will fall down because of COVID-19? Things like cruise ships, airlines, question mark.
Yes, of course. Yeah, the social stuff, things that people gathering together in large crowds.
Do you think government should bail out airlines?
I would hate to see going back to monopoly. I tell you what. If we just had, like it used to be effectively with in the old days with you had domestic was all TAA and ANSA. I remember that, and that was dreadful. And they all fixed prices sky high. Mind you, I don't like travelling very much anyway.
Yeah, for you it doesn't matter too much. There's no airlines that doesn't bother.
I like my franchisees to come to Melbourne, not pay a ridiculous price. I hate to think, because I like Virgin actually, I hate to think Virgin going under. So I hope they can give them some sort of loan.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think I'll have to.
But not Qantas. Qantas doesn't need it.
Qantas? Yeah, we'll see what happens with them.
I'm not crazy about Qantas. Virgin's better.
So David McDonald's going, you need a ladder for gutter job. 2-story ladder is worth at least $450 for a decent fiberglass ladder. That's a suggestion from David. Okay, David Rumpf is a franchisor. Hi, Jim and Joel. We need to have more referrals between divisions. Do you have any suggestions on how we can encourage FSCs to do this, particularly at this time? Thanks, Dave. It's a common question and suggestion.
Okay, all right. Now, look, it can't come centrally. That's the one thing that you cannot get it from national because they don't listen to us. Only about 5% of franchisees open their newsletters, so nothing we do is going to have any effect. The way to do that is to actually connect with the other divisions. So if you're in a division, like especially if it's not mowing,
David's dog wash and cleaning.
If he's dog wash and cleaning, go to the mowing meetings. Ask an invitation. Ask if you're going to attend and go there. Offer them some freebies. Or get one of these networking groups together, which might be the case.
BNI, yeah, I know they promote a lot in BNI and the initial training with Sam Robinson and that, the local area marketing stuff, or the networking
but this
groups
isn't BNI, this is the gyms version.
Yeah, there's one on Gyms Online, yes.
The gyms version, which costs nothing, unlike BNI.
Yeah.
They've been phenomenally successful. So you make the personal contact. See, if you start actually going out and doing work for, and you can give them a great deal. You know, I'll do your cleaning for so-and-so, make it a good deal, go out and get a half dozen mowing guys and clean their houses for them at a really, really beautiful, really good deal. And just wait for the leads to start coming in. Because once somebody's used you, they want to use you again. And of course, you give them a whole stack of business cards and they can refer you to their clients. And you do the same for them too. So you get to come and mow your lawns or whatever it is. And at a really good price, and do the same thing, or even you swap the services, whatever. But doing things for other people and doing things for you, that is the way to do it. Build personal contacts.
Yeah.
So when you because people aren't going to go and say ring gyms to get so and so done. They'll say, I'll get my friend Bill to contact you. And that's the way to do it. Personal contact. Which is why when a franchisee is new, the one thing we'd always say to them is, if you're short of work at all, the best people after your immediate friends and family to go to is the gyms from the other divisions. And when somebody approaches about that, I always say to them, I make the introduction. I actually introduce them to local franchisors. And they always arrange for them to come to the meeting. I've never had anybody say no to that.
Yes.
Why would they say no? People can come and get their house clean for nothing. Why isn't that a benefit of being a franchisee? But once you've made those contacts and you've done a whole lot of houses, they start giving you work.
Yeah, and franchisors are always wanting more material for their meetings as well. So it helps them out if you go there and do a little session on what you can do for them.
So invest some evenings. It's an incredibly good use of time. We've got this great system. We've got 50 divisions. And take advantage of that. Take advantage of the sheer ability. Which is why in a situation like now where you've got people who test and tag as bad, well, go and do some mowing or some carpet cleaning or whatever.
It's a bit hard though for them to attend the meetings now because of the social distancing thing, unfortunately. But
but the same thing. You zoom in.
Yeah, you can zoom in. Yeah, you can be on the Zoom.
Even easier.
Yeah.
Just contact the franchisor first, and again, if you want instructions, I'll give them to you. Contact your franchisor. Ask if you can jump in. Just make the offer. I'll come and I'll mow your lawns, or I'll wash your dog, or I'll clean your carpets, or whatever. And make the offer and they're there and they understand what's going on.
But 100%, particularly during this time, have to refer each other. So I'm hoping all gyms franchisees watching just refer as much different as you do, and it'll come back to you twofold. The more value you give, the more you receive generally. Peter Berendorf, hi Jim, regarding technology improvements, is there any plan for online chat functionality for the call centre? Does that mean for you to have a direct line to the call centre? I don't know, or for customers? Yes, there is. Is the actual option. So their phones that they've currently used a new phone system. There is an online chat thing which you can integrate into the website and stuff like that. So when that gets prompted, it actually engages with a call centre operator. I think that's next month in May. That will be available. May 7, I think is the date. Currently, we use a Facebook chatbot on gyms.net, but in regards to a direct line to the call centre for online chat functionality, yes, May 7 is the planned date for that one, Peter. Because they've got a new phone system.
This is the clients when
clients, yes. So if a client engages it, what happens at the moment, we use a chatbot because that's just the best cost-effective solution, and you've got an automated response flow. But you want someone real who can actually, if they ask a specific question, so the bot gets stuck a lot of the time. So we're trying to put the real-life one when it goes bang, and it prompts the operator, and they'll in real time help them out. So yes, May 7, I think, was the date that I saw, Peter. Until then, we have the Facebook chatbot that'll shift over. So that's the
We're
answer to that
making a
one.
very big advances in terms of technology over the last 6 months, and in the next year or so up to we'll be making dramatic changes.
Well, we've got to get the stuff out. So that's the plan, Peter.
Yeah.
Like, we just want it out. Like, I'm frustrated as franchisees and Zors as well, saying, I know Jim is as well, because we're saying we know how good this thing will be when it goes out, but we just want to get it out. So
unfortunately, with the crisis, we've had to cut back a little bit on software development. We're still spending well over $1 million a year.
Correct, but the demo for Jimbo's been used by some people internally already, so I know that one's pretty much ready to go. So we're just hopefully that.
And we're getting, there's a few bugs left, but they're getting rave responses.
Yes, it's been really good. Wade Aston suggested he Jim's fishing coaching, get on it. If there is a market, Wade, there is a division. Jim's fishing coaching. You much of a fisher, Jim?
No, only a trout farm.
We should do a trout farm here at your lake. You know, you got that big Jim's Lake. I call it Jim's Lake at the back of the HQ. Start chucking some trout in there.
Trout farming is a very different business.
Yep. There we go. Brendan Raggett. Hi guys, Brendan here from Sunshine.
Patience isn't my number one virtue. In fact, there's a fair way down in my.
That's very true. The people watching.
I'm notoriously impatient, so
we'll know that.
It's not good for a fisherman. Someone like Ron Sadowski in Queensland, he's a fisherman. He's got patience.
Yeah, there's a lot of Stuart Rainbow's a big fisherman when it does some marlin stuff. There's a lot of franchisors who like fishing and franchisees.
I think it requires a sort of different temperament to me. I like everything done yesterday. If I'm going to fish, I want to be in, out like that.
You want it set up a nice thing. You want to go to the trout farm. There's 100 there.
That's why a trout farm appeals to me, because you don't have to wait around to get a fish or two.
There we go. So Brendan Ragg's gone, hey guys, Brendan from the Sunshine Coast Mowing franchisor. G'day Brendan. I've started 2 guys during this time and both are doing really well.
Great.
And his profile picture on his Facebook page is Jim's toilet paper delivery. Good to see you using that one, Brendan. That's good to hear. And that's just an example of some people are doing really well.
I'm still getting my 1 month responses from franchisees, and most of them are actually flat out, and they're saying how great it is, and I wish I'd done it ages ago, and my franchisor's been great. The only ones, as I said, like Test and Tag, you've got some guys who really are hurting a bit, but the great majority of starting have actually come back and saying, fantastic, lots of work, this is great, wish I'd done it years ago, which I've heard many times. Very, very true. Patrick Butler, do you think having cross-divisionals doing other jobs may damage the brand, e.g. Test and Tag doing mowing? So I think Patrick's a mowing franchisee. Look, there's a potential, except that usually most franchisees and gyms give pretty good service. And I think they're sensible enough to know that if they can give good service for Test and Tag, they'll give good service for mowing. I mean, everybody knows what a good lawn mowing job looks like. And we'll find out pretty quickly anyway. If they're good people, they'll give good service. But the other thing to bear in mind too is that saying no to a client is bad customer service. And people get fed up with it. And I get some very irate customers just ringing me up or emailing me and telling me how crummy my stupid system is because I want service done. You can't give it to me. What's wrong with you? So it's actually a big negative. So if I can get a Test and Tag guy to go out and look after some customers who otherwise get knocked down, I'd be confident that would do a lot more good than damage to the brand. Yeah, so you're saying that the risk of maybe, let's say, I'm not saying it would be a substandard job, is outweighs just saying, no, we can't do it. Because obviously that person won't come back to us again. But And don't forget, the great majority of clients who use it are very happy. Our average star rating is about 4.6. Okay. And that includes people who are completely unfair sometimes, which we knock off when we can, but sometimes we can't. Yeah, so the answer to that one is just saying it won't damage the brand. It will hopefully help us by taking more out of this work. And I personally reckon, like, if it's Test and Tag or someone else taking the cross division, they're going to take a lot more longer at that job than what maybe a mowing franchisee can do. Because mowing's, they're expert guys and go bang, bang, bang. That Test and Tag guy, I think it was in
Emmanuel.
Sydney. Emmanuel. Send me an email, Emmanuel. I'll have a chat with you about what's possible and how it can be done and what jobs are available. I wouldn't push that aside too quickly. I believe there's ways of you getting work.
And then Wade Aston's gone here. Wade Aston, our most commenting person, he goes, Avabella loves her book by The Way Muscle. She said to thank you. No worries, she's welcome. She got a signed book by Jim, which is great. Mm-hmm. Hopefully she's having a crack at that one. Eric Jurgen's
good time if you've got time and you can't go social. Read up books.
It is.
Quality books are the way to go.
There we go. That's the one there. But probably the free version is that with everyone's got.
That's
so
right.
The Jim's book there as
and
well.
If you really want to get into the into something deep and this one here, biohistory.
There we go. If you want to challenge yourself, give biohistory a crack. Eric Jurgen's gone, for people in the Campbellfield area, Costco has unleaded fuel for 88 cents a litre. Fuel's come right down, hasn't it?
Yes.
And diesel's at $113 a litre, so he's telling them there. Okay, then here we go. Wait, that's the no. Are we ever going to see a presidential style address from Jim, the man on pulling everyone into line? I don't know if that's in reference to. We were talking about an April Fool's prank, and we obviously didn't do it because it's April Fool's today, wouldn't be appropriate. But we had some suggestions, like you were running for be a senator and all that sort of stuff. We'd have a Jim's political party start up and you would do a campaign video. Yeah. There's some other suggestions. Next year we'll have to wait till next year.
I think business is a lot more fun than politics, quite frankly. It's a very frustrating business.
Would you ever do it? The old Senate?
Yeah, I've thought about it time to time.
As an independent?
Yeah.
Would you start up a party though?
Yeah.
Well, what would you call it? The Jim's Group Party? The Jim's Party?
No, I wouldn't call it that. Just myself.
I think you have to though. You have to leverage off the brand. When people go there and see the paper, they would just give it. You have to do it. Leverage off the brand. I'm telling you now.
Yeah, I don't know. I got enough to keep my days quite full at the moment. Thank you very much. With 4,000 franchisees approaching me every now and then, and I always want to be available to my franchisees. I hate to lose that connection. It's sometimes extremely useful.
So think of it, if anyone's got an April Fool's prank for next year, guys, please leave it in the comments.
Have a think about it.
Malcolm Bradley, finally NZ cheaper for diesel. My local's at $1.02, which is great for Malcolm over there in NZ. So price of petrol and that's coming down. Aaron Putty, do you not have private healthcare, Jim?
No, I don't.
You don't? Right. Why is that? Is that just...
I'm too healthy, not worth it.
You're too healthy, not worth it. But what about for obviously the tax, you pay a lot of tax anyway, so it doesn't matter. I guess.
I so rarely... Actually, I went to a private hospital about my foot and they said they couldn't do it and they sent me to a public hospital because they have more experienced doctors and they were fantastic. I just get sick so seldom that it wouldn't be worth it. And my family is not exactly we don't get sick a lot.
Very, very true. So let's keep going to some questions here. Some really good ones coming through.
The only time it was worthwhile when we were having babies. When there's a lot of babies coming out, then private health is nice. But apart from that, no.
That's true. So Beck Ann's gone in. Hi guys, Martin from the Mowing division. Brands are often judged during a crisis for how they respond to their customers' problems. Marketing literature is full of both good and bad brand reputation changes. Are there any plans to strengthen the brand beyond a business as usual approach? There are many marketing strategies and tactics can be employed, but I've not the time space to start on all in this forum.
I'm a great believer it's not the marketing that counts, it's the experience the customers actually have.
Yeah.
I get emails regularly from franchisees just telling me, Jim, you're a hypocrite. You say franchisees come first and yet you have a go at me because they get a complaint. Now, if you were a real sincere guy, you would automatically delete all complaints and all bad surveys of mine, of course, not everybody else because they're all bad, but me, even though I've got a 3.5 rating. That's what you should do, Jim, because you cared about franchisees. But why do I do that? Why do I spend hours a day dealing with complaints and surveys? Because that gives clients a better experience of us and they'll call us again. But we have been making one big change lately is that we've got this new policy. And this is, again, comes out of interactions with franchisees over the last few months and so forth especially, that any kind of complaint can be gotten rid of if you satisfy the customer. It doesn't matter what you did. Doesn't matter if the job was bad. Doesn't matter if you turned up late. If you failed to quote anything at all. What you got to do is to satisfy the customer. So you can whatever you need to do. Go and do the job normally. Offer them a freebie. Offer them a discount. Go and satisfy the customer. Now, that's a fairly major change of policy. And that's had a very big impact because you've got all these people going back to customer and saying, look, it wasn't perfect. What can I do? Can I give you a freebie? Can I give you a discount? Can I do it again? Trying to do it. What I've actually seemed to be seeing lately, and I don't know what's happened exactly, is we're getting less complaints coming through.
Okay. And Paul
maybe there's less leads around, but not by a big margin, I can tell you. But I think franchisees, this kind of policy is helping because when you actually do a job that's not quite right and the customer complains and you go back and you do it again, it's actually good from every point of view, because the franchisee who does it recognises what a good job should be, and the customer gets the experience of somebody coming back and doing it. So I think we win both ways. This is just something that happened in the last month.
It's a good point, but I think I love the comment. You've obviously got a marketing background or some form of marketing education, which is really good. I think what Jim said, I agree with. I think you can put a post up saying some creative, witty marketing thing, then the customer experience be garbage. Who cares about this side of it? You know what I mean? So we do have the work there, but we can do various things. We are trying to do posts per division saying business as usual, which we are, like most people are. I know cleaning, we're doing some, I think we're doing a video for cleaning about a new service code they've done as well. I don't know what other, if you've got any ideas, please flick them through. I'm open to all ears as well. Social media at gyms.net. However, I think as Jim said, the customer service, just being hard on that's the best. You can have the Snickers campaign you want on the front end, get someone in and burn them on the customer service side, then who cares?
Yeah, somebody says we give great customer service in marketing. Well, what does that mean? Do you believe it? I don't. Frankly, it wouldn't make any difference to me whether somebody said they do or not.
I've seen some ads where you get the glossiest, cleverest ad whatsoever, and I've tried to use the service and they've been garbage. So I think the customer service standards.
There is one change coming up which is going to actually make a huge difference to customer service, I believe, and it's nothing to do with marketing. It's to do with IT, and that's right. Jim's jobs. We're going to have a system that actually says whenever you contact a client, you just click on a button and it'll send the text. You send an email with a quote, it'll automatically send the text. It reminds you if you haven't called back. It reminds you if you haven't turned up. It reminds you if you need to give a quote. It tells the client when you're going to be quoting the job by. If you make an appointment, it texts the client. I'm looking at all the different things that go wrong and looking at ways of technology helping with that. Now, I think that's going to make a dramatic difference because it'll actually remind everybody to do the right thing, and it'll avoid a lot of misunderstandings. We won't be surveying clients who haven't had a quote yet. If your quote's due on the 5th, we shouldn't be surveying you on the 3rd, but we'll know the quote's due on the 5th, so we won't survey the client till the 7th. Yeah,
and it's also it's going to be good. I can't wait to see it come out, but there's a part of the question that says how we respond to customer problems. So customers' problems at the moment is that they've got to stay in the home and whatever else. Can they have a contactless solution?
When you say customer problems, what do you mean by that? You mean customers not being happy?
Well, that's the question here. Brands are often judged during a crisis, how they respond to their customers' problems. So I guess
let me ask you a question. Name one other company in the country of even remotely our size, where the CEO of the company gets personally involved in dealing with client issues on a daily basis.
I'd say it's very little.
You name anybody that does that.
Yeah.
And I will do this late at night. I'll do it in the weekends. I'll do it. Sometimes I'll be up. Sometimes you get an email from me at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I will follow up issues and I will chase them and I'll tell people what they need to do and I will make sure it's fixed. And if they don't get fixed, if the franchisee's left, then we've got a system where we have a warranty fund to go and fix them. We put an enormous effort, and I personally, as the head of the company, get hugely involved in that. I think that's pretty well. I'm president.
No, I agree. I think we should show that a lot more and document that a lot more. We did do a video of that, but probably consolidating that into more marketable stuff is a good idea. But please send through your questions.
But in the end, it's the experience people have. The interesting thing is, as our customer services got better, our advertising, if anything, has gone down. We've got franchisors giving back money to the franchisees because they can't spend it. And yet we've got this volume of unserviced leads. So to my mind, that's always if you want more work, marketing is, you have to be there, but the biggest thing is to get customers a good experience.
And we did have a lot of plans actually before COVID with Elemental doing some competitions and stuff as well. So we've got some things in the work, but send through your suggestions, Martin. Really good question. I love that comment tonight. It's been great. We spent enough time. Let's keep going with this one here.
If you get me on customer service, I'll talk a lot.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the case. Paul Sanders has gone here and gave the link to the Gyms Network online, which is great. He says, this died, but I'd love to help see it resurrected. Gyms Networking is open for gyms franchisees.
Yes. Well, if work is down a bit, get into Gyms Network. The problem with the Gyms Networking system is that it works brilliantly, but it works so well that everybody gets flat out and it disappears. They just don't continue because they don't need to, because they're all so busy. And most franchisees are actually pretty busy. Even now they're busy. So it's kind of, we often talk about it, but the reality of it is, as soon as you get successful, you stop needing it.
That's it there. So let's give you some more questions here. There's some really good ones coming through. It's a great comment, Paul. Now this is a comment from Dave McDonald. Now this was quite annoying when I read this one, just because he's about the local franchisee in his area. He's had a bad experience. So I find it hard to network when the local mowing franchisee won't even wave. I was doing a job next door, was on a roof and got down to say hello and he didn't want to talk. The old franchisee would flash me down for a chat all the time. we gave each other heaps of work. Unfortunately, people are all different, David. We wish they would all be friendly and stuff, but unfortunately, some people aren't.
I think mostly they are, actually.
Yeah.
I think most franchisees do that. And if anybody's watching, for heaven's sake, wave when you see somebody. I mean, I would always greet my own franchisees when I see them.
Yeah, absolutely you did. We've got the test and tag fella on site at the moment.
Yeah, we just chat with them and see how they're going, and you pass somebody and wave them. They probably don't know who I am because I haven't got a signed vehicle, but yeah, do wave across divisions. It's great. It's great to have those connections. There's a lot of power in our multiple divisions.
That's true. So let's keep going to questions. We're around 10 minutes behind because which is I apologise for. So we're not ignoring your questions. We're just behind the queue. Eric Jurgens is going. How about doing some work for other franchisees in exchange for them doing some for you?
Exactly right.
Absolutely.
Like I was saying before, Eric, and that's a great way to do it. You know, you go and wash their dog and they mow your lawns or clean your house or whatever, and you basically swap the services across, and then you can recommend each other and you can give each other leads.
So Mark William Hanson's gone, I think divisions should stick to what they do best, Jim. Regards MH22. Absolutely they should. But in times when there's need.
I think they should. And I don't think a person who's got plenty of test and tag work should be going out mowing lawns. But if he hasn't got any work coming in and he needs to feed his family, I think going out and mowing lawns, which would otherwise be unserviced, is a good thing to do.
Yeah, I think that's the point, isn't it? Yeah. It's a bit of sharing is caring.
We're not encouraging you.
Absolutely.
We're not encouraging you to ignore work from your own division, because if you prefer the other division, well, then transfer to the other division.
That's it.
If you haven't got any work, yes, do that other division of work.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're going to take a lot of care. And Mark, I think it's about in this time we've got to try and help out. And
I can't even think of any problems with it. I know that there's franchisees doing work cross divisionally, and with one exception where we had Jim's construction, was shocking. I've not had any problems at all with this.
And they don't want, and as Jim said, they don't want to be doing it. A test and tag guy doesn't want to be doing that. He just has to do it to get by.
He's got the training, he's got the equipment, that's what he does. Why would you want to go out and mow lawns, or dig garden? But if you've got nothing on, then yes, absolutely you should.
And Happy Zulu's tuning in from Jim's Mowing Analyst, so thanks for tuning in and watching a comment there. Now I've got some more comments and questions coming through here. Now this is an interesting one. I don't know what your name is here. This is Othie Murray. I've tried to look you up. Timothy McCurry's the name. It doesn't have you down as a franchisee. Please let me know your code. You do understand work will get very hard to win. Why are you going to wait till things get really hard? You don't really believe that work is going to keep on coming with new leads. I'm losing customers every day. Please leave your name there, Timothy.
And also, did he tell his division?
I think I don't know what division you are. Please leave your division there as well, because we can't help you. If you left the 3 comments last week, this is the guy who said the comment about you stopped donating money to church and stuff. So we're trying to provide a question and answer to, but you need to give your code there as well, so we know who you are.
This is the guy who reckons everything would be sold if I spread my tithing amongst the franchisees.
Correct. This is the guy. Same guy.
Give them 10 cents a week each.
Same guy. I've been trying to find out who it is, but I can't find out who it is. Yeah.
Interesting way of solving our financial problems. Yeah, okay.
So he says I'm losing customers every day, which is probably common for some.
I would love to look at your... Look, it depends on the division. All I can say is that the franchisees that I speak to from the divisions that are doing well, which is the great majority, they tend to be fairly busy.
Yeah. And he's just saying, why are you waiting until things get really hard? You don't believe that the work is going to keep on coming with you?
I actually do believe things are going to get better. And I don't know if anyone wants to have a bet with me, but I would say that the worst of the crisis we've already passed. The infections are levelling off.
Yeah.
Our death rate isn't going out of control. People are distancing, which is very sensible, and we should all do this. And we're having the example here.
And I think, Murray, you've left a couple of, I wouldn't say nasty comments.
You had this new thing. Look, it's reasonable for him to say it.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice to know who he was. Why don't you send me an email?
Yes.
Jim@jims.net. Email me, and we'll talk directly about it. I'll respond to you.
100%.
And if you do it now, I'll do with it when I get back home.
But please, thank you for leaving that comment and questioning. It is good to see you watching and stuff, but please take Jim up on the offer. That's why my frustration is. Email Jim@jims.net, take him up on it.
Because I think one of the problems is if you look, I know it's great to think, fear, horror,
Correct.
we're all going to die with it, and gloom and disaster and everything else, but it's not necessarily very constructive. Maybe it's better just to look at it and say, okay, what can we do in this situation? What's the solution?
Mindset.
Because despair is often not much of a business plan.
That's a very good quote, actually. That's not a bad quote at all. We might have to put that one up on a post, though.
There's things we can do. And with an organisation like ours, with the kinds of resources we've got, with the different divisions we've got, with the different systems and the group wisdom, and it's not just myself, it's hundreds of other people, thousands of people I talk to all the time. and ability to draw on other sources, like our lawyer, for example, who's very helpful in digging things up. We've got immense resources to help you with all kinds of issues. So
let's keep going here because we've got a lot of questions and comments. Sorry, guys, we're in 10
it's
minutes
got to get the negatives too. I'd like
no.
a little more context. Which division are you at? Why are you having trouble? I'd love to know what your customer service rating is. Things like that help.
Yeah, I was trying to find out, but I couldn't find on the profile. The Don McKinsey's tuning, which is great. So Don's from TNT, so good to see you tuning and watching, Don. Rory Green, Jim's Mowing, Peregrine Beach here. Shout out, Joel. Absolutely give you a shout out, Rory. We posted... He's been sending us his work, which has been great. So he's up in Queensland sending us all his lawns he's doing, and we're posting it. So if you're a franchisee,
we love that.
Social media at gyms.net, I'm posting everyone that comes to me. So if you people are probably sick of seeing the mowing stuff, but they're the guys sending me the stuff. If you're cleaning, testing, tagging, tennis, whatever, send me the stuff and I'll post it. Social media at gyms.net.
Yeah, people complain about the client newsletter that doesn't feature certain divisions. Well, I say send us something so we can feature you.
Correct.
It's not that we don't want to do it.
And it goes weekly now, so there's such a you're going to be.
We can't do it if you don't give it to us. So if you've got a division, and you don't have to be a franchisor, any franchisee, just put something through and let us know so we can promote what you do.
Now, Earthy Murray's got another question here as well. So this is another comment. What happens in 6 months when banks start wanting money? Landlords will want their money. Gyms will need to come to the party financially.
Come to the party with who?
I don't know, for him financially, I don't know. As I said, this is the same guy. What happens in 6 months when banks start wanting money? Landlords will want their money. Gyms will need to come party financially.
If my landlord's going to come to me and demand money, then I'd be a raving schizophrenic since I own my own property. I'd be demanding money off myself. Hey, Jim, pay me up. Oh, I don't want it.
But it's probably to the despair stuff. So, and obviously 6 months' time, there's rent allowances or whatever else the government's doing. But he's saying, I think we'll be hopefully recovered by then. I don't know.
I think in 6 months, I don't think the virus will be gone. My strong prediction within 6 months will have made up most of the... People may be spending differently. They might be spending as much on things like cinemas and restaurants, but I think the economy will be getting back to it. This stimulus is huge.
Yeah, I'd just say if you please Jim at gyms.net, take him up on the offer. He'll do whatever he can for you. Dave McDonald's, can you do a survey whilst live? Ask who is a Zor, Z or other. Can you do a survey whilst live?
Like on this?
I don't know. We probably won't be able to do it now, but we could probably do it next week.
We're doing it right now.
We are doing it right now, are we? Oh, we actually are. Sorry. So Jake in the camera is running a survey, so make sure you fill in the poll. So it's a Facebook poll, not a customer survey.
All right.
Okay. Brendan Raggett's gone here. Don't worry about Rory's shout out. He's using gyms to try and become Instagram famous. So Rory is quite good on Instagram. Not under the gym's name. He's compliant with the contract. It's under another brand.
Which is okay.
He's on there all the time. I think he's got a bit of a following. So check Rory out. I think it's Rory Green and Gardens or something like that. Eric Jerkins, is there a possibility when using gyms online for dog wash to be able to have the breed of dogs in a name in there so you can see it without having to open each customer up? As I help Ricky out, I think this would be a great asset. We try hard to do that. I don't know why you're looking at me for that one. That's probably
it's all about what they send us.
Yeah. Is there a possibility when using gyms online for dog wash to be able to have the breed of dogs? That would be a new gyms jobs type of thing, I would think, down the track, wouldn't it?
Oh, so hang on a bit. Does he want the job to be?
So is there a possibility when using gyms online for dog wash to be able to have the breed and dog's name in there so that you can see it without having to open each customer up? As I help Ricky out, I think this would be a great asset.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, probably flick through more details with that one, Eric. It's probably a bit hard for us to know from the view. I think it's an additional request for gyms online for the dog wash division.
If you're talking about when a person books a job to put their dog's name and picture in, I think that'd be a bit... rather reduce our leads by demanding too much.
Might be an extra field or something you're asking for. I don't know on that one, but send through
the trouble is, Eric, the more you ask a person for when they book in, the more likely they're going to hang up. We've actually learned this. You know, there's a process that Joel goes through where you actually use a map and you look at how many people drop out at every stage, and there's quite a significant dropout.
Yes.
So you've got to try and reduce that. The more questions you ask, the more the dropout, the less leads come through, and the less work.
He might mean something on the back end. So if that's the case, we apologise as well. So Wade Aston's gone. Jim coughs neck minute you both have COVID-19. Hope Jim does not have COVID-19.
I've got
asthma.
Asthma.
When you've been coughing, I know.
I should cough into my sleeve. I reckon.
That's true. That's what Eric picked us up on that one.
But I had a barbecue today, so I get a bit of smoke, so it makes me a little bit asthmatic.
Now Dave Bryan gone. Hey guys, how does the cross divisional business work? How does cross-divisional business work?
Oh, well, you just got to put yourself down for it, particularly mowing, because there's so much mowing work around. So all you've got to do is to approach probably me is the easiest, jim@gyms.net. Just say which services you want, I'll put you down for them. Whatever you want to do. You can pick and choose. You can have mowing, gardening, gutters, rubbish.
Yeah, you've got to be able to confident you can do the service properly and all that sort of stuff.
And also, I'll also tell you what's available to it, how much work there is around. It's not that difficult. I can do it. I can set you up in 5 minutes. I've done it a couple of times already. So
Jim@gyms.net there, Dave. Thanks for tuning in. I think you're a first-time watcher. Now, Steve Beck's going, hi, Jim. I noticed there is a new business in the Belrose, New South Wales area. Has this area got strong unserviced leads coming through? I'm interested. Thanks. Jim at Jim's.net. I think it's a prospect. I think it's the prospects. So Steve's a prospect.
Yeah, Jim at Jim's.net. I don't mind talking to prospects.
Yep.
I'm not going to give you my phone number. That's only for my franchisees. But if you want to email me, Jim at Jim's.net, I'll tell you exactly what's around. I'll give you the list too. I'll tell you all the unserviced leads and the rest of it.
It's not a bad one for there as a new felon thing. You come to Jim's family, they're only going to give you personal service on that one. So please take him up on that one, Steve. Jim at Jim's.net. Aaron Putty's gone here. I wave all day to other divisions, which is great. Aaron's from Jim's Antennas.
Yeah, good on you.
Gustavo Silva, what's your expectation on after coronavirus? I think, what are you expecting after the coronavirus?
Well, the economy's going to be knocked around a lot. Obviously, it'll take a while to recover. It won't happen overnight. That's my feeling. In some areas, there's going to be an explosion. Like, say, test and tag. People are scared right now, but you've got to have it done eventually. So you're going to probably find them flat out, after 2 or 3 months or whatever. So I think business will bounce back in a lot of ways. But some businesses may not recover. I mean, we don't have a vaccine for 18 months. I don't think restaurants are ever going to be as good. But, from our point of view, that's probably not all to the bad. I mean, it is bad because I like going out and I like our local pizza joint, but from the point of view as a Jim's franchisor, we've got this massive problem with unserviced leads. And if somebody who's been, working in a restaurant or even owning a restaurant looking for another way of life, well, why not do what we do? And
tough times make tough people, and that's a tough time for everyone. So if you can just get through it and be resilient, resilience is the best quality anyone can have. So
our biggest problem has actually been the economy has been so good. I mean, the work's been phenomenal. The work's been rising year by year. We just haven't got enough franchisees to grow as fast as we'd like to. That's our number one problem.
We're hoping for an explosion. Hopefully, once all the things and people can start eating out and people are a bit more confident in the economy.
But then most franchisees are busy anyways. It's really not a widespread problem. It's just those...
some divisions affected.
2 or 3 divisions. And I really feel for the test and tag guys. Yeah. I know some of the skip bin guys are hurting too, but that's got a lot more to do with competition and to do with tip fees and so forth.
We have to adjust, so we'll keep trying to adjust and get it better. Then David's gone to Ophic, give him a call. Then a few people are saying that he's been leaving a lot of bad comments on Jim's post. Yeah, it's been unfortunate. If he is a Jim's franchisee, I don't know why you'd be leaving bad comments on Jim's post. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I was trying to find out who he was to help you out, but please take Jim up on the offer, Ophi there, Jim.
Look, if you've got any genuine issues or you want some actual answers, for sure.
That's it. And Beck's gone MS22 is her, I think, is the husband's code, I think. So send through your suggestions to social media at jims.net. Sounds like you're pretty switched on with marketing stuff there, guys, so that'd be great. Dave McDonald's gone, Jim, the fresh hot bread was delicious. Do you want some? I'll feed it to the screen. David started making his own bread, I think, based on your suggestion. Yeah. If you can try and feed it to the screen, why not? We'll see if we can get it through there.
I love making bread, actually. I've got a bread making machine, and it's I'm not nothing of a cook, but it's a real simple thing. You just put in, you got the bread making machine there, and you put in a spoonful of yeast, and you put in a certain measure of the flour mix, and you put the water in, and you press the button, you work out what time it's about, and you just like that. It's about 2 minutes.
And here we go for
Mark. And then 3 hours later, or 5 hours, whenever you want, you have this beautiful, beautiful, warm, super fresh bread. I love it.
Is it like a wholemeal type or multigrain? What do you do?
You choose.
All right, there we go.
We've been having white bread. The last one I got is wholemeal. I feed it to my church parties in my life group.
Okay.
That we always give them, and it always goes. And my kids eat it too. So you have a whole loaf of bread, a big one. It's all gone.
Well, we should have a little logo for the toast, like a Jim's toaster.
I brought some into the office one time.
Did you? I have to do it. But we have to make a Jim's toaster with a little logo like on the computer prints on the.
No, you don't want to toast it. Bread is fresh, really fresh, warm bread, straight from the bread making machine. Even unculinary cretins like myself, who've got no skill at cooking, can't go wrong with that. It's so easy.
There we go. So Marco Simeone from Jim's Mowing. Hi Jim, is there any update on when the new Jim's job system is ready? Thanks, Marco.
Sometime in April.
Sometime in April. So it's this month. It's this month. It's past 12 o'clock.
It was supposed to be in March, but it doesn't help when we hit a crisis and we have to let people go. We're just working out the final bugs. That's where we're at. So sometime in April, we should be coming out with...
They're just testing it now, because in essence, it's literally done. It's just a matter of...
It's just testing.
We don't want to release it in
testing. We don't want to give it to you before it's ready. You could have it now, but you'd probably...
There might be some bugs and stuff and have to redo it. So let's go. Luke O'Neill, love your positivity, Jim. I think Luke's in Mowing.
Thanks, Luke.
Which is great. Don McInnes, we had a Zoom meeting today with some of the guys, and the feeling was the guys reckon when we do come out on the other side of this, it will be busy as hell.
Yes, I think you're right. Yours is the kind of thing that they can put off. but they can't not have it because otherwise the factory's going to burn down or they're going to be in breach.
Well,
of
got to
the
be
law,
compliant and all that
kinds
sort of stuff,
things.
you know. And
So it's getting through these next probably couple of months, who knows, that's going to be tough for you. And that's why we really would like you guys to look at the other possibilities within gyms that are available.
Definitely, and encourage you to take your gym up on that offer. And I think Test and Tag, I think, as I said, they're very resilient as it is. A lot of them have really good prospecting, cold calls and stuff as well. So
they are too. They're
a
very
good bunch.
They tend to be. It's a very selective division.
It is. Yep.
You have a very.
Don't know how Don got in it though.
All right. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. They're a very selective division. They teach people marketing very well. They have a very low attrition rate, extremely low complaint rate. It's a really, really good division. So I would be absolutely confident that anybody in Test and Tag would be great at doing anything else they put their hand to.
They've got superb professionalism. That's the one phrase I'll say. They're very professional.
And I'd love to see you guys doing some other jobs. And I'll personally help any of you with anything that you want.
And let's hope you are flat out both the other side of this. I reckon you will be, and business could be booming. Joel Ryan's going, hi guys, Mowing in Canberra.
The other thing too is that this also, think about a recession, once we get through it, and we can because we've got the resources, it tends to knock out the competition.
Yeah, so that's the we shouldn't say that, but that's what's been happening. A lot of the independents are really, really struggling at the moment. So
yeah, we know that.
Yeah. So let's keep going here. Joel Ryan, hi guys. Mowing in Canberra is going well. Too much work now is 100% better than the summer. We just had it all, and I for cross revision work keep it in gyms. I'm all for cross divisional work, keep it in gyms. So he's saying that's a good attitude.
It's good.
Keep it in gyms.
I'd rather have a gyms Test and Tag guy doing a lawn mowing job than pass it to some independent, even if it's a lawn mowing contract. I have more confidence in one of our own people cross divisional than I would an independent.
Yeah, and it's definitely
their ratings aren't as good too. The average rating on a Gyms Plus job is about 4.2 currently. The average rating on a Gyms job is 4.6 or thereabouts, a bit over 4.6. There's a big difference in the quality of what our people do compared with independents. I'd much rather give it to a Test and Tag guy or a building inspector or whoever else wants it.
There we go. And Brendan Rake's saying Rory's one of his franchise owners, hence the other comment. Yes, Rory and Brendan up there in the Sunshine Coast. You've got a lovely area of the world you live in. Eric Jurgens. So this is Eric regarding his comment for Gyms Online. He says, like when you put in the phone number in when adding a client. So maybe there's an extra field, I guess, for the dog breed. I don't know how easy or hard that's to do.
If you're talking about doing it when you book the job...
I don't think it's booking the job. I think it's on their side. I think, Eric, if I'm correct in that.
If it's something that you want for Jim's jobs, that's a different issue.
I think it would be the case.
You could put that in if you like, and we'll do this kind of stuff with time. What's going to happen is we are dropping a little bit from because financial straitened times from our development team, but there's going to be a program of ongoing development. It's going to keep on going, and it'll never stop. We'll always be trying to improve Jim's jobs.
And Tim Teasdale from he's a New South Wales, he's Test and Tag franchisor. He's gone in today. Joel, golf was reinstated. Life isn't that bad now. He's a massive golfer, Tim, one of our franchisors. I think he plays off 3, so he can go to the golf course today.
Oh.
They must have shut it down for a bit, so he's quite happy. I'm sure he'll be playing a lot of golf and get that handicap right down there. Now, Paul Evans, would more incentives and less charges make gyms franchises more lucrative? Would more incentives and less charges make gyms franchises more lucrative?
Well, in other words, you want reduced fees, I guess.
And more incentives.
Well, an incentive like cash rewards and fees go down. I guess it would in a sense, but I mean to put it fairly, our fees are on average probably about 8% of turnover. If we took it down to if I eliminated all my profits, we might be able to take it down and all my income and personally I lived on nothing. You might be able to take it down to 7% of turnover. I don't know to make a lot of difference, quite frankly. And I think you probably factor my staff to death wouldn't do you any good.
Yeah, that's true.
Honestly speaking, we don't charge a lot. There's so many, like if you look at 15%, it's a pretty common charge for service industry, and ours is like half that. We don't charge a lot for what we do.
And a lot of our franchisees, it all depends on the franchisee how much they want to go. There's some very highly lucrative franchise owners with a territory and 5 workers on or 6 workers.
Well, yeah, if you're turning over $1 million a year, you're probably spending 0.5% in your turnover. So that's at that level. But honestly, your franchisors does the job too. They're worthy of being paid, and they work hard. Most franchisors do a great job. It's not just a matter of sitting back collecting the money. They ring franchisees regularly, and that's part of the system. They respond fast. They run meetings. They give help and advice. They do a lot of different things, and I get a lot of responses from people like my 1 month letter about how great the franchisor is and how helpful and often you've got to pay someone to do that. It's not reasonable to ask a person to do that for nothing.
Yeah, I think now more than ever the support side of it is so important, isn't it, with the franchisors? So
And things like our software, Tim, we're spending more than $1 million a year in software development. Until recently, it was nearer to $2 million. That's got to be paid for somehow, and it's really helpful. It gives you valuable stuff, and it gets better with time. And we are improving with what we do.
And we are trying some little customer extra 1%, like Jim's calling long-term franchisees now. We've got the shirts going out, the 5-star stickers, so there's little touch points are now as well.
My view of franchising is very much like my view of customer service. A lot of people would say the way to look after customers is to give the cheap, and just rush through and get the job done and go to the next cheap job. I don't believe in that. I believe in charging a good price for a quality service. Now, we charge, I think, a very fair price, but no, I'm not going to be discounting fees down to take where franchisors and nobody else can make a living. But what I want to try and do is to give better and better service to my franchisees, work out more and more ways to help you. Because actual fact, reducing our fees by 10% it's less than 1% change to your income, but it dramatically guts everything we do. But to help you increase your income by 10% is much easier.
That's a good comment or question, Paul. Thanks for shooting that one through as well. Steve Durant's gone here, so this is a good one. Welcome, Steve, from up in New South Wales. I've become a new franchisee. Being a train driver and copper, I'm learning the fencing business. Hopefully things get better. He's really nervous at the moment. Hopefully everyone in gyms can help each other in this time of need somehow.
I've never heard of a fencing franchisee being short of work. If you're the first, it's notorious. It's about 60% unserviced.
You got a good franchise. I think it's Adam Powell up in New South Wales.
Adam's great. Adam's a really top guy. Any problem at all, I know if I give it to Adam, he'll sort it out.
And we love police officers as franchisees. They're great.
Police officers tend to do very well. Because
they do.
The good thing about people who've been in organisations like the police is they're used to dealing with the public. They've got good personal skills.
Absolutely.
They're used to working within a disciplined environment, but showing initiative. I've got a lot of time. Anybody from police, army, those kinds of tend to do very, very well.
Great character traits. They've got a great all-round mix, and they can do real well. Steve and Jim will let Jim know how you're going.
And I have a lot of respect for the police. Every experience I've had with the police, they've been incredibly professional, really brilliant.
Except for Archie Hood, who's one of our divisional managers. He used to be a cop for 25 years. He looks like Tom Croydon from Blue Heelers, for anyone knows him. Been calling him Tom Croydon. So Michelle Watton's gone here. Suggestion for the other franchisee. I've been calling my older clients the day before they're clean, just to ask if they need anything picked up at the shops. That's an interesting one.
Wow, that's a nice.
That's a great extra little 1%er.
In the newsletter just coming out, the franchisee newsletter, there's actually an example of a
suggestion.
Attachment that somebody's been sending to their clients, and this is he just sent something to his clients. This is a mowing guy, to talk about how he's saving them from infection and stuff. And he said within minutes, he picked up a guttering job. It's been a brilliant sort of thing. So we're attaching that in so you can have a look and see what he's done and then make your own version of that. Bit of proactivity. It's amazing. People are doing incredibly well.
That's a great suggestion, though. That's a great thinking outside the box, and that could be the difference between getting a client or losing them or whatever it is. So that's a great one, Michelle.
Yeah, he just sent that to me last week, and I said, "This is so good. Can I share this?" And he said, "Yeah, sure." That's
great, and thanks for that one, Michelle. That's a really good suggestion, and thanks for tuning in. Matt Sheldon's going to be a couple of weeks working Jim's yard for test and tag.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, there's a good bit of money in there.
Yes, actually, I've got Eric come and did our place.
Eric Adams.
Eric Adams, yeah. Jeez. I said next time you've got to go down the back and do all that long grass that nobody ever cuts.
Yeah, that's going to be. It's a jungle at the back there.
It is too.
Definitely a bit of work. Then Don's gone here, just thinking on the fly in regards to those Canberra mowing jobs. What about the mowing guy employing or subcontract the mowing jobs to the T&T guys? As in, the mowing guy can take more leads, quote, and win the jobs.
That's a possibility.
So there's a possibility. That's not a bad one.
If you know them, it's really a matter of whether you've got the equipment or not.
Yeah, well, you might have. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I think franchisees want to put on people that's hard to find. So at this stage, maybe rather than if they can afford to do it, put on a fellow franchisee direct. I don't know.
The trouble is, most franchisees want to pay workers, like $20-$25 an hour. Most of our guys like to work on $60 an hour. So there's a bit of a gap there. I don't know how.
But it's a suggestion if someone wants to get through this period just doing that or whatever it is.
It's a possibility if you know somebody in that area for sure. At least they'll show you how to do it.
That's absolutely. Then someone here, Matt Grape's gone, Jim's COVID cleansing. I know cleaning is, we're not saying...
What do you think Jim's cleaning is?
Yeah, they disinfect surfaces. We're not saying it can help reduce. We're not saying it does, but it can help...
We can't clean the virus out of the body, but we can certainly clean it off the surfaces.
Preventative, Jim's disinfectant stuff is the service code that they've created.
That's a quite likely way to catch it too. It's from infected surfaces as much as anything else. That's why you've got to be so careful. That's why I've stopped biting my nails too, because if I touch anything at all, I go home and I wash my hands.
And then Joel Ryan's gone, work is that good, I've taken my son on because he owns a restaurant and it's been closed down and he loves to work.
Brilliant, yes.
So there you go.
There's a lot of stories like that too. People whose wives and lost their jobs and they're helping out and so forth.
Yeah, it could be interesting there. I think bloody stuff going back to work. I might go and want to keep doing this full time all the time. You never know. Yeah. Great story of Arta. Hi Jim, I've had a new client ask me today if I'm the one delivering dog food as she received an email stating we are now delivering dog food. Would have been nice if I've heard about this as I sounded like an idiot not knowing what she was talking about.
What division?
Dog wash.
Oh really?
Yeah.
But they've always delivered dog food.
I don't know. That's probably a divisional question, that one. I wouldn't really know.
I talked to your franchisor about that. It's actually part of the service and it is promoted. So it's not a national thing, it's a divisional thing, but they do it. Absolutely they do it.
So yeah, clients asking, she's saying it'd be nice to know. So
yeah,
maybe talk to the divisional or what's the...
We'll talk to your franchisor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once again, it always helps if you read your newsletters and so forth. I know people won't, but you probably have been told, you just don't notice it or it just comes through us, not something else garbage from the division. I won't read it.
Please read the newsletter, guys. We used to do a video newsletter. We had to kill it though because no one...
We know, we had a video newsletter.
I loved doing it.
What did we get, about 4% opening?
Oh, it was annoying because the first ones were received so well and they go, keep doing it, then they stop watching it. It's like, well, we've got to stop. Then people go, well, you got to keep doing it. It's like... I loved it because it provided more context to stuff. People go, Jim, you don't communicate enough. And then the video would have a 10-minute video of you explaining everything as opposed to the short
I'd often put breaking news in there too, but people just didn't watch it after a while.
There you go. And Alana said,
I guess they get bored of looking at me after a while. So who could blame them?
And Alana said, "How's going? Hi, Jim." And Joel tuning in, Ron and Alana. So 30-year franchisors. Ron and Alana.
30 years. Our first ever 30-year. Congratulatory phone call. Which
is great. And then Matt Grape's gone here. Jim's quarantine. Yeah, we don't have quarantine. We've got some people in the office. A lot of people working from home though now. But there's only like 4 or 5 in the office.
Well, actually, rather than Jim's, let's have Jim's Mafia. You know, if you step outside your house, we'll shoot you. That should cut down on infections.
Well, I tell you what, there's some funny videos online. India is doing really well with their lockdown. Have you seen what they're doing online? The cops have got these big sticks, and anyone who walks outside the street, they're whacking them. They're seriously whacking them. Go search it online. It's quite hilarious, but they're taking it really seriously. So if there's any tuk-tuk drivers or people congregate, the cop go up to them, big bamboo stick, and goes whack. So we need the Jim's whacking service, I reckon. So Joel Ryan's gone here. I'd like to help any other test and tag franchisees that are struggling in Canberra with equipment if they don't have any, if they want to do mowing. So wonderful. Joel Ryan is saying in Canberra, if you are a test and tag franchisee, you want to take mowing cross-divisional work, he'll lend you equipment.
Joel, send me an email. I'll pass it on to all the mowing franchises in Canberra. That's a fantastic offer. That really is brilliant. I am so appreciative of that one. And
then Jim's group. Hi Joel, I'd love to have a chat to you about this tomorrow if possible. Absolutely, Don, just give me a call or a message. I'm happy to talk to you tomorrow when I'm in. And then Ray's gone, Jim, did you design the logo when you had a beard?
Yes. The logo is actually me. It's a picture of me. If you actually go Jim Penman images,
you'll see it. Yes,
you'll see a picture in there, me against the old.
You had like red hair. You had a red beard, didn't you, back in the day?
It was red. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was the reason I shaved it off too, because my beard was going grey. My hair in those days, way back then, was still brown.
Yeah, you had. Was it brown or red? Was it red?
No, my beard was sort of red.
Your beard was fully red, I reckon. It looked pretty red.
It's a different colour. Yeah. Because lighter colour goes pale, goes grey earlier.
Did you get called any nicknames with the red beard?
No.
No one called you like Bluey or anything like that?
Harrison, I'm the boss. Who's going to call me nicknames?
Back then, I don't think you would have been. It would have been still back then. But let's keep going on here. We've got some more ones which are great.
Apparently, when they always used to think I looked like Mr. Burns too. So from The Simpsons. So.
Well, we got your character right behind you, the fun pop stuff.
They reckon I'm a spitting image of Mr. Burns.
Now I'm going to tell you an interesting stat. We've got Jim on TikTok. So Jim's group does have a TikTok if you are following it. Our most popular videos, 45,000 views, was when you ripped open the funk pop. People hated you opening the box because people collect those things. So that video when you open up the Emperor Palpatine one has 45,000 views, and people just going off saying, "Don't wreck the box, Jim. What are you doing?" Blah 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 blah. It's been quite funny actually to see how TikTok works with that. Then Paul Evans has called you a humble and interesting man. That's a nice compliment.
Oh, thank you.
Humble and interesting man. I don't know, humble part. No, I'll keep going.
Well, I'm humbler than you are.
That's probably true.
You reckon you're more humble than me? I don't think so.
Oh, absolutely. I
think I can out-humble anybody.
Paul Evans gone, I like these lives, giving it 5-star, which is nice, Paul. Thanks for tuning in and commenting. Here we go. Vanessa Burgermeister. G'day, Vanessa. Hey, guys. We were coming home tonight and we saw Jim's fresh in our car park with about 200 boxes in the back.
Oh, they are going big guns. They are brilliant.
That was pretty cool. They only live 20 metres from Chapel Street, so Tony and Vanessa do Jim's Finance. So they put an offer out as well. So Jim's Finance and Jim's Bookkeeping. They're the two who've done these big information packs and stuff. So please email them if you're a franchisee as well.
I don't know what's going to happen with Jim's Home Fresh. They're having an incredible time now. I'm hoping that it's sort of it's the takeoff. We'd love to see it going in other states too.
Well, they had to take a lot of stuff. I think they took a stuff off to give their suppliers a break. I know, especially with the meat, they were
they couldn't cope with it.
And I had to
But it's great stuff. We have it in the office here, and the staff love it. And it's so much healthier.
Well, 100%. It's great to have it, and people are taking it home. And I've lost a heap of weight due to it, so I'm quite happy with the old Jim's Home Fresh.
Well, I'm a notorious fanatic about health and stuff, so I like to see my staff being looked after. I like to see the fresh fruit around the place and less of the lollies and chocolates and stuff.
Oh, but you love the chocolates, don't you? Don't make out like you avoid the chocolates. If there's chocolates
No, I love chocolates.
I've seen what you do.
I love chocolates. Yeah. But the only reason I picked them up is because I want to save my staff from temptation. It's just my altruistic nature. I think, no, if I didn't eat this chocolate, then Joel will get it, and he needs to lose a bit of weight more than I do. So I'm gonna save Joel by taking the chocolate away from his temptation, let him have a banana instead. And it's just my good heart.
Very, very heroic, Jim. You're a hero, Jim. I'll tell you right now. Here you go. I've seen what you do. The fruit is there. If anyone's watching, the fruit is there, and you always go look to the side just to see if there's any treats. And if there is any treats, you sort of act like you're not going to do it.
If you think that's fair, you should see him with a jar of Nutella.
That's true.
They hide it. They get Nutella and they hide it away somewhere. I can always find it. They would put it somewhere.
You love Nutella. You just be gone. That's your one favourite.
The bread machine. Yeah, I am bad on Nutella. I checked today because we were on a fast without church for the whole of month of March. No sweet stuff.
So today I
was on the prowl. Yeah. Actually, what I bought today was a fruit loaf from Baker's Delight.
A fruit loaf, right?
I must have had about a third of the entire fruit loaf. But that was my after a month of not anything sweet, which doesn't do me any good.
Oh, that's fair enough. But you told me, you done like a Lent thing for like a month where you had nothing. So what did you? I thought you were going to do a bit of cold rock. The cold rock thing you're telling me you're going to do.
Yeah, we hadn't done that.
Haven't done it yet?
I was trying to find some cookies and cream ice cream that we can do our own mixing up with. I like cold rock. It's really good.
And your son did it as well for the video games?
Yeah, he did it. He's a great little kid. He says he'll never do it again. It was so hard.
What was the thing? 2 hours, wasn't it? It was 2 hours.
Only 2 hours a day, 5 to 7.
Yeah.
And especially during the crisis and during school holidays, that was a really tough thing. He's just such a great kid. As he said, he's never do it again, but maybe he will next year. You never know. I'll try something. But he's a great character, right? So one day when you're incredibly successful, people are going to look back and say, why have you achieved so much in life? And he will say, it all started when I was 10. That's what I told him today, when I did this fast, and it was so hard, but it just developed discipline. Because the whole of success in life is discipline. The whole of success in life, to my mind, is doing the things that you feel you ought to do rather than the things that you want to do. That's it. Everything depends on that. All the good decisions you make, the hard work, the enterprise, the good relationships, the good, everything is based on that one principle of discipline, and discipline yourself to do the right thing.
A lot of hard work as well. But that would have been cool. 200 boxes on Chapel Street. Chapel Street's, I don't know if you've been to Chapel Street much, Jim, but it's prime real estate. So they have it all there. So really good. And obviously, if Jim's finance and bookkeeping, please, I know franchisees, please take them up on the offer. Because they've got those massive information packages and they can...
Yeah, they really can help.
They really can.
Those two divisions are very cluey on. People sometimes ask me such stuff and I say, go to an expert. I read the papers rigorously, but I'm not an expert in finance. Anything but.
So take them up. Bookkeeping, Jim's finance, they've got all these massive offers as well. It's a really good one. Then Eric Jurgen's gone, have you stopped giving away the books? Still hoping to get a buyer history and a bear. All right, let's do a buyer history for you, Eric, because you watch every week with Fish and Chops. So I'll give you.
You deserve buyer history.
We'll send you a buyer history, so I'll get Jim to sign it. And we'll put it up there as well. And I'll probably go through the comments and DMs some people.
I'd love to hear from you, Eric. I love to discuss buyer history. Anybody.
Have a read of it. Absolutely.
Our research program is going to be really exciting this year. Actually, it's been held up now because the labs we want to use, they're being used for medical purposes, so we can't get into them.
Really?
But we're doing all the ethics approvals and so forth. Some really great stuff's going to take place later on this year.
So there we go. So we had around 100 people watching tonight, which is great. So thanks to a lot of people who were watching the whole time, which was awesome. Lots of franchisees and franchisors watching as well, which was great. And if you're watching still, Ophi Murray, please email Jim@jims.net. I want to get you to deal with Jim so you can do this one as well. So we have buyer history, which we're going to give to Eric, and I'll look on the comments as well for some other books and just pick some people to send some to as well. So same time next week at Wednesday. Thanks for tonight for Jim.
All right. See you later.
No worries. See you guys.